Today, we're taking a deep dive into the world of animal minds. And what scientists are finding, well, it might just change the way you look at every single creature on this planet.
So let's just start with the big one, a question that people have been asking for, well, forever. Are we the only truly intelligent life here on Earth?
For most of human history, the answer seemed pretty obvious, right? It felt like a definite yes. We built cities, we wrote symphonies, we had these incredibly complex languages. We really thought we were in a class all by ourselves. But there's been this explosion of new science lately, and it's telling a totally different story. The evidence is just piling up, and it's starting to look like our old assumption that we were the only ones with advanced minds was just completely wrong.
So why did we have this human exception myth in the first place? Well, it really boiled down to a few things we thought were uniquely ours. Our ability to make really complex tools, to create culture, and to use language. Those were supposed to be our things. All right, so let's start chipping away at those ideas. Because it turns out, when you really look, you start finding some incredible thinkers and tool makers out there in the wild.
Okay, check this out. Take the New Caledonian crow. It sees a treat floating in this tube, totally out of reach. What does it do? It doesn't just randomly poke at things. It figures out that if it drops heavy stones into the water level will rise. That's not just trial and error, that's cause and effect. That's logic.
And the parallels here, they're just incredible. On the left, you've got tools from our early ancestors. On the right, tools used by chimpanzees today to crack nuts. And the most important part is that this isn't instinct. It's a skill, a tradition that's passed down from mother to child. It's basically a form of technology culture, just like our own.
And then you get creatures like Otto the octopus. I mean, our evolutionary paths split more than 500 million years ago. And yet, here's an octopus who got annoyed with a light and figured out how to short-circuit it by squirting water at it. That's deliberate, goal-oriented problem-solving from a mind that is just profoundly different from our own. So, we're seeing that it's not just about tools. Let's move on to the next big thing we thought was ours and ours alone, culture and complex communication.
Now, before we go on, let's just make sure we're on the same page with the word culture. We're not talking about art and music here. In a scientific sense, culture is just any behavior that is learned from others in a group and passed down, not through genes, but through observation and learning. And dolphins, they are a fantastic example of this. They have these things called signature whistles, which are basically names. They call each other by name. And they can remember the names of dolphins they haven't seen for years. They even understand that the order of words in a command matters. It's just a whole other rich, communicative world happening right under the waves. And you have to hear about Alex the gray parrot. His story completely shattered our ideas about bird brains. This wasn't just mindless mimicking. Alex actually understood abstract concepts. You could ask him, how many green blocks? And he'd tell you. He even came up with his own words for things. He proved that a non-mammal brain could totally grasp symbolic thinking. But maybe the most surprising, most profound discovery of all is finding deep emotional lives in other species. I mean, we are talking about behaviors that look an awful lot like empathy, fairness, even grief. Get this. In one experiment, rats were given a choice. Open a container to get some chocolate, or open another container to free a trapped friend. And what did they do? Over and over, they chose to free their friend first. They prioritized helping another rat over getting a treat for themselves. It's just an amazing display of what really looks like empathy. And elephants, wow, the evidence from elephants is just so moving. They've been seen standing vigil over their dead for days, gently touching the bones. And this isn't just sentiment. Their brains have a huge hippocampus, which is key for memory and emotion. They remember, they cooperate, and it's pretty clear they feel very, very deeply.
So, when you pull all of this together, what does it all mean? It means we need a whole new way of thinking about intelligence itself, a totally new map.
You see, for so long, we imagined intelligence as this single ladder, with us humans sitting right at the top. But all this new science shows us that's just the wrong way to look at it. It's not a ladder. It's more like a beautiful, complex mosaic.
Every species has evolved its own unique kind of smarts, its own cognitive strengths. Crows are masters of logic. Primates are experts in cultural learning. Elephants have this deep emotional intelligence. Octopuses are geniuses at adapting to solve problems. See? No single species has the monopoly on what it means to be smart.
And that leads to this really profound idea. Our intelligence didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It was built from these ancient building blocks, things like planning, empathy, symbolic thought, that are shared all across the animal kingdom. They're much, much older than we are.
So it all leaves us with one final big question to think about. Knowing all this, knowing we are not the only thinkers or feelers or communicators on this planet, how does that change our place in the world?